Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, welcome back to another high level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have in the bottom left as our red Zerg player playing for Team Alpha X. It's of course Ragnarok, opening up with a relatively quick pool, so we do not see a hatchery here. But first, let me introduce the man in the top right playing in the yellow trunks. It is none other than Gumiho. Good old Gumiho, would you look at that. A player that I've been watching again ever since he returned back from the military. It's been interesting to watch him kind of reinvent himself. He's one of these players that isn't quite a top Terran, but has the results every now and then of a top Terran. And whereas before it was mainly with mech, these days it's a lot with bio as well. A very, very solid bio player, but also a player that enjoys not scouting. Ragnarok seems to be aware of that, opens up with a pool first here, follows it up with 4 links straight away, and that means that if this Reaper makes its way across the map, like most Reapers in this matchup do, the Gumiho is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Because these 4 links are going to walk around probably towards this left side of this... Well, I'm not quite sure what this is, like an oil pipe or something like that. There's some lights going on as well. They go to the left of this, the Reaper will move to the right. Yep, there we go. It's kind of the interaction I had expected. The links will arrive as the Reaper hits the natural, so this should be perfectly timed. There's going to be a single Marine. Ooh, second Marine on the way. That's actually kind of... that's good. That's good for Gumiho. Oh, he cancels it and then gets a reactor. That's not good for Gumiho. Gumiho not paying attention either is going to lose his Marine straight away. Lose the SCV as well. Both of these links make their way in towards the main base. At the same time, what's the Reaper doing? Reaper is in the main, but as there's a Queen there, should not be capable of really achieving very much. 2 links on the low ground, 2 links still on the high ground as well. These will start running, well, keep running around for a little while longer. That's going to cost Gumiho a fair chunk of money. As the Reaper makes its way back home, the reactor is about to finish up. I do believe that the Reaper will be kind of the unit that saves Gumiho from this well, rather annoying conundrum. Starport is on the way already. We have a single Hellion and 2 Marines being constructed. I don't think this was intended, right? This is oh crap, this is not going very well. Let me just build some Marines and single Hellion production, then we swap it over here. Because you are still afraid of maybe roaches coming. You want a little bit of extra damage output with these Marines perhaps. Or maybe just exploit. He's going to try and kill the Overlord. Oh, this barracks has a long flight ahead of him. Look at his path here. Oh my god. He's going all the way. So, right, check the first one. Very solid approach to taking out Overlords, I have to admit. Here comes the barracks. Ragnarok can see it coming. Like, oh my god, not again, this guy. Can't be serious. Barracks flies in, will take out the Overlord. Ragnarok is playing a 2-base opener here with a Roach Warren. So most likely it's going to be Roaches then. It's not the most difficult read to make. Viking... This is a confusing start. Why would you fly your barracks all the way over here if you're going to open up with a Viking anyway? I mean, he's going to catch another Overlord here on the far right side. It means that Ragnarok actually will not quite be supply blocked, but pretty close. 58 out of 60. Next few larvae are going to pop. Oh my god. That was a great call there with the Roach Warren, but Roach Warren gets cancelled. Instead we see a Spire go down. 4th Extractor on the way and a 3rd base. Now we have a bunch of queens out. Baneling Nest is going to be used to wall. That means that these queens should be capable of keeping all Hellions out at this point. We see 7 Hellions, 1 Reaper. And they're coming in right now. A single grenade could still be useful, of course. Bounce these bad boys out of the way. We do have 9 links available though, kind of like as a backup. In case you fall, there's a net to catch you. Safety net of these Zerglings. A couple more Zerglings are being created. Up to 17 right now, which means that it's just really difficult for Gumiho to move in with these Hellions. Oh, this is a trick. He's kind of baiting these queens towards the far right side. Now he's going to drive in with these scars. Links, though, are in position. 1 shot on these links. Oh, almost get the surround. 1 Hellion is going to fall. But no other Hellions will die. 2 groups of Hellions just being controlled here individually by Gumiho. Not the easiest task in the world, but he's doing a fine job. 7 Mutas are out, or are about to be out. I'm not quite sure if Gumiho is ready for that yet. TCC just now starting to morph into an orbital. So we have some extra barracks being created. Double eBay on the way as well. This CC is rather low. I don't think this will be very consequential though for this game. I mean, there's no way these mutas fly over and kill the CC. There's just too much repair. There's stim as well. I think the main thing that we're really looking at is initially is these Hellions. Are they going to survive? Of course, Hellions always serve a purpose in the mid game of denying run-bys, and especially against Mutalisk Bane. It can be nice to have a couple of Hellbats once your armory finishes, just defending your third base. Ooh, this is a fight that Ooh, fairly close there with that Muta, staying alive with very little HP. Turret is now up in the main base. Okay. Yeah, the main thing I'm worried about here are the workers, obviously. The worker count is the most important thing that Gumiho needs to keep up. It's also going to be really, really difficult to just keep any type of map presence. Like this Raven managed to kill 7 units somehow. I think 5 of those were links and 2 of those were drones. Significant supply block here as well out of Gumiho. A very significant supply block. Look at that, 93 out of 93. He's just now going to add 1 more depot. He's going to need to drop, yeah. Double drop. Extremely expensive in a game where he's already behind. It's not quite what he wants, obviously. Centrifugal hooks just finished up. We have these mutas flying around, and usually we'll see the intentions of the Zerg player here. So are we going to see more mutas? And the answer is yes. Usually you'll see like a mix of Mutalisk and drones being produced at the same time, while kind of skipping out on the links and banes initially, because the Terran just can't be too aggressive. It's not possible to move across the map when you're consistently being harassed by these mutas. Oh, big mine shot. I think 1 muta ended up dying there. 1 muta already died earlier. So this should say 2 mutas have died, and that is indeed what it says. 2 more mutas are being built, 8 more drones on the way, so I wouldn't even mind a 5th base coming down. We already see a drone over there. And then just going up to that higher drone count, getting more gases as well is just extremely important. +2 is on the way for Gumiho, but Gumiho is lacking the ability right now to be out on the map. He's absolutely lacking the ability to be out on the map, and that is potentially an issue for him. Because if you're not capable of being out on the map, you're not forcing out any links. And that means that the Ragnarok can just go up to however many gases he wants, however many drones he wants. If Zerg in this type of scenario can go up to like 10 gases, 92, 93 workers, yeah, that is an issue for the Terran. And Ragnarok is a player that can do that type of stuff. Creep spread is looking, honestly, a little bit mediocre. Especially given the fact that this was a game where not a lot of pressure has been put on Ragnarok. This has been a game where majority of the time not much was happening. All these guys are gonna morph into Hellbats, won't work. Upgrades for Ragnarok are pretty close to the Terran's upgrades, and especially if you open up with a quick spire, that is usually not an easy thing to do. That just shows that this game is quite favorable for Ragnarok at this moment. Muta count is large, upgrades look solid. Worker count is going up to 89 at this point. The 5th base is done. We're only on 7 gases. It means that we're going to see a heavy focus on Ling Bane from this point on, because the gas for extra mutas isn't there yet. The question is, what does Ragnarok really want to do from here? Maybe he'll transition into like a hive, go into ultras, or we'll see some type of bust. So a flyby into the main base and then a bust towards the 3rd base, and that seems to be the answer so far to his problems. There's a single mine here on the top side. Here come a bunch of mutas. We'll take out that mine. No, instead go for the sensor tower. Take out the sensor tower. Forget to kill the mine with it. You get blasted by that mine. This is going to be a bust on the 4th base, but I don't think this base is done morphing yet into this planetary. Indeed it isn't. Sensor tower being gone means that this type of attack is way more viable to execute, because Terran needs to be holding 2 areas at the same time. Oh, Gumiho's just barely missing this for now. Does spot... Oh no, Ragnarok spots this army, is just going to surround it. When I say surround, it's just going to come from the back. It's only from one angle though, and with some decent splits here, Gumiho is actually almost making this work. No, not almost. He is making this work. All of these banelings are going to end up falling. Great look at the resources lost step there. Gumiho's probably going to be feeling a bit more confident after that fight. Immediately starts pushing across the map. Forces out another 30 banelings. And what were these Mutalisks even doing? Were they killing some drop on the left side? Like, I'm not quite sure what it was they were doing, but it wasn't very useful. That I can assure you. 3 mines with this army. I don't think that's quite enough though. 30 banelings. Gumiho needs to start running back home at this point. Infantry armor is about to finish up. Mines going to not hit with the main chunk of these banelings, with the main army. There's no more mines in this army right now. These marines start turning around, trying to fight. Good splits out of Gumiho. It's going to really minimize the impact that the banelings had in the fight. Despite all of that though, majority of the marines still go down. Medevacts need to boost back home. A couple of mines will kind of work as zoning tools here, I can only imagine. Take out 1 overseer. Muta count has fallen significantly, by the way, during this fight. We're only at 12 mutas right now, 6 more on the way. Are there turrets here? There's a single turret, and despite there being +2, if you only have if you only have 12 mutas, it's not going to be good enough to take out that turret. There's no upgrades for the turret yet, no range, no extra armor, but even without that, 12 mutas with +2 is just not good enough. Gonna need like 15, 16 in order to truly start dealing some damage to that turret and take it out. Gumiho has found a little bit of momentum though. Creep spread is not continuing on either. It is an aggressive push out. I'd much prefer just playing around the creep a little bit. Gumiho is planning on fighting this completely on creep. That feels like a mistake. And it seems to be a mistake as well. You can't really do that. I'm surprised we didn't just see a scan there. Extremely surprised even. Still have a bunker with 4 marines at that 3rd base. 5th base being built on location is an odd sight to see. These banelings off of creep are not going to be trading as well. That is what Gumiho kind of was banking on. We should really see another scan here. No, this scan is way too far forward. This left side still has so many tumors that should probably be taken out. There's not enough banelings though. Single snipe on that baneling. And this actually is a really dangerous scenario right now. +3 infantry weapons finish up just there. It seems like Gumiho skipping the creep was the correct call here. Takes out a base. We'll get to pick up majority of these marines. No, marines drop back down. A lot of these medevacs are going to end up falling. So this is a big loss army-wise for Gumiho. But takes out a base. 2 workers. I'm not so sure if that was necessary. I'm not quite sure if that was a good trade for either player. If they could redo this, I think both players would do it slightly different. Or maybe even not just slightly different, but very different. 16 banelings on the way. We are working towards the 3-3 upgrades for the Zerg here. There's no adrenal glands yet though. That is somewhat surprising. 5th base is on the way with a planetary. We have another 6th coming up. No extra orbitals yet though. And that means that the scans will be lower, that the worker count needs to be higher in order to maintain a high mineral income. Of course, if you have 4 or 5 extra orbital commands, you can get rid of like 15 SCVs and be completely fine. Still going to be mining the same, maybe even a little bit more. Left side base is going to get taken out. We do see a cancel. That is important because Ragnarok is pretty poor at this point. You see a big scan. Couple of these creep tumors do get taken out. As the stim runs out. There's plenty of medevacs though to heal. Here comes a very big engagement. This is still going to be on creep as the creep has not disappeared quite yet. Banelings are going to start connecting with some of these marines. Perhaps with some of these Thors. Marauders get taken out as well. And despite this looking like a cleanup, I am not so sure if this was a good fight. Ragnarok is just barely outmining his opponent. He's going to need way better fights if he wants to remain competitive in this game. At this point, it almost feels like these mutas have not paid for themselves whatsoever. 21 Mutalisks have gone down already, but we haven't seen a single fly into the main base. Hardly any SCVs have gone down against the mutas. 4 SCVs only have been going down in total in this game. And that is obviously a mistake. Lynx are going in for a Runby still without adrenal glands. That would have been a very helpful upgrade at this point. Taking out more SCVs. He's going to be doubling the amount of SCVs that he took out. Mutas moving in will take care of this Thor. That's the only anti-air that's here actually. There's still 1 marine with 5 HP. I guess not the only anti-air. Mutas are going to be taking out every single last marauder here. And at the same time, all of these SCVs are falling as well. It seems like that a single run-by was good enough to deal with Gumiho's income lead. 53 workers against 92. No extra orbital commands yet. This base, well, what's happening with that? might turn into an orbital eventually. This planetary is in danger. Holy crap. That is a bad location to be in right now as a planetary. He's going to finish it up with a... This seems so risky. This seems so risky. Dropping the mules as well. 5 mules. If these mules get taken out, I think the game just ends. There's not enough income in that case to continuously produce. These mules are the only thing keeping Gumiho alive. And because of that, he's going to start pushing through this side. Kind of play around this ramp, perhaps. Do have a single mine still with this army. A couple of mines in the back showing up as well. That means that this ramp is going to be well guarded. There's no creep on this far right side. Don't forget that the left side base, this 9 o'clock, got cancelled. That means that this really is the only new mining base. This one, I guess, still has plenty of minerals. This is largely mined out. This is starting to get mined out as well. Banelings blow up this planetary here on the left side, but a new command center was already in position. Gumiho once again is moving in. There is an ultra out already. Just a single ultra so far though. There is chitinous plating. Banelings moving in, moving forward. Will not get the connections that they needed. More Banelings coming back home. The control out of Gumiho has been extremely good this game. In a lot of these fights. Now these mines are going to get destroyed. That means that the mine count currently only is at 6. Not quite high enough to have mines scattered around the map, and at the same time also have mines with your main army. A single mine over here is going to get taken out by the Mutalisk. Ragnarok will move back to his creep, and I think that is the correct call. Another Ling Runby is moving in, still without adrenal glands. This is a mistake. This is there's no excuse for that. The adrenal glands upgrade is the most effective, or one of the most effective upgrades in the games when it comes to increasing damage output. So yeah, I'm fairly surprised that we haven't seen it yet. This planetary is going to get blown up, and there is an orbital right next to it, which can land, of course. But another 7 SCVs go down as well. This base is turning into a planetary once again. We are currently on, well, what feels like 2.5 mining bases here for Gumiho against 1, 2, 2.5-ish, 3, 3.25. So somewhere between 3.25 and 3.5 base. This planetary is going to get taken out because of the lack of response out of Gumiho. There was way too slow with that SCV pool towards the planetary. That definitely is a mistake. Good pre-splits coming out of Gumiho as well. Oh my god, these banelings are just hitting absolutely everything. Marauders, Marines, Thors is usually not quite what you want. And well, that final baneling, it actually did a lot there. If these Marines stay alive on the right side, it actually feels like Gumiho would be winning this fight in a really big way. Even now, with these medevacs still being alive, 3-3 upgrades coming through, and this base is going to get sniped. The supply is in favor of Ragnarok, but the majority of that is in workers. And not all of these workers are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that is working. See a bunch of them now transferring towards that far left side. We have already a couple of workers on. There's going to be some minor oversaturation on this base for now. 5 more drones have gotten killed. This is a very important run by, because if these mules get taken out, that means that a large portion of the income for Gumiho, actually basically the only income that Gumiho currently has, will be taken out. Mules will fall, SCVs remain alive. Another drop towards the far left side. There's no medevac here, just a liberator, couple of mines, marauders, marines. If this hatchery gets sniped, that is an extremely important base to take out. Does not seem to be the case though. Marines don't even get that many worker kills, and this ends up being a fairly bad fight here for Gumiho. Sends out another little squad without a medevac once again, while rotating towards that far left side, knows the importance, understands the importance of this base, and says, hey, if I can take this out, I think I can win the game. Lots of drones are falling. This hatchery is going to get taken out as well. At the same time, the Ling Runby towards the right side. We have a base trade of sorts in which, well, Ragnarok has way more drones, but does he have sufficient bases as well is the question here. This orbital could get taken out, of course, by these Mutalisks, but the Mutalisks have been idling an insane amount this game. Feels like Ragnarok not quite capable of managing and a main army and a Runby and these Mutalisks, and often decides to just put the Mutalisk in the main army while managing the Runbys. Now, it's good, of course, to understand where your weaknesses are as a player, but it feels like if you're playing Mutalisk, that it's an important unit to use aggressively for harassment, because that seems to be the main purpose. Just making sure that you can basically one-shot turrets and that type of stuff. Clear a bunch of these SCVs as well. 35 mutas have gone down so far this game. There is a turret in this base. This SCV gets taken out. No cancel on the turret. Base actually taking a fair chunk of damage already. Marine stimming forward right now. Another SCV gets taken out. This base might be in trouble. Is there enough banelings? I think we only have like 5 or so. 6 banelings are done. If a single bane gets the connection though, that's all you're really going to need. Too many links in this army will make it that I think Gumiho is actually winning this fight. That single baneling gets a huge hit though. That was absolutely massive. Another baneling moves in. Does get a couple of marines, but at the same time 69 army supply against 54. Lots of marines still moving across the map. There's only a single marauder, which means that this ultra will be way more effective than ideally it would be. But even then, off creep against this many marines, it's going to be difficult. 2-3 mutas get taken out. Huge fungal hit. And all of these marines are going to end up dying. 58 army supply against 57, but there's not enough marauders. These links still without adrenal glands. An absolutely game-changing upgrade that has not been researched yet. Look at the link numbers that are here. Ragnarok feels like he can continue moving off creep and take out as many marines and marauders as he wants to. SCV's fighting links. Well, if there's 3-3 links, it's something you usually do not really want to be doing. Ragnarok at 69 workers against 11 workers. Army supply dead even. This left side base is going to be extremely important. But even without that left side base, I think Ragnarok is outmining his opponent in a significant manner. Ragnarok decides to attack this off creep. That feels like a mistake. Oh, well, that fight surely wasn't a mistake. Oh my god, all of these marauders get taken out by the mines here. Bunch of these marines still alive. Army supply still dead even. Mines stay alive for now. Ling Runby heading in towards the natural, but a couple of mines will take care of that, I can only imagine. No, so far not really the case, but what are you really hoping to achieve here except losing all of your links? What is the mine count? We have 12 mines and 15 marines at this point. Ragnarok is getting an overseer, it's getting Buro as well. So a couple more SCVs get taken out, 17 SCVs against 68 workers. Income is now favoring Ragnarok, where this left side base is just mining so much, and it feels like there's nothing that Ragnarok can do about that, or that Gumiho can do about that. Infestors are in position, Ultras are trying to move towards that position as well. We have another Ling run by. This right side is now under some pressure out of Gumiho. Gumiho is scanning, sees, hey, there's actually no banelings here. I can stim, I can clear all of these links, and I can also clear this hatchery. This base gets taken out. This should be a pickup. Mine burrows will take out, well, some broodlings. It's not the greatest thing in the world. Mines need to burrow, mines need to burrow. Mines do not burrow in time, will get taken out before they get the ability to shoot. A couple of marauders are moving in as well. Do we have an army on the left side? No, that's just pure mines. This Ling run by killed 8 workers there in the end. And I think at this point it's actually just over. Fungal is going to be hitting. The Ultra moves in. And there is no Gumiho left, while there is plenty of Ragnarok around. Command center eventually will burn down, especially with the help of this corruptor just shooting it every now and again. A big chunk of marauders actually on that left side would have been super useful to have on that far right, but they weren't there. Now the GG gets called. Ragnarok wins this extremely low eco late game. And yeah, fantastic little game over here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you, and bye bye.